Coming up on InfluencerHER.
I find that when you take that extra moment to make a plate look exceptional, it makes you feel exceptional. And I feel like people can feel that through social media.
Meet the local chef and culinary stylist who's working to change the way we think about food.
Plus, planning a renovation.
We want to make it so that as many people as possible know that feeling of having a space in the world that is for them.
Well, we get tips from the founder of Sweeten. The company's mission is to help make your home improvement projects a breeze. That's happening right now on InfluencerHER. Hello, everybody. Thanks for watching InfluencerHER exclusively on News 12 Plus. I'm Aisha McKenzie.
And I'm Amanda Bossard. Coming up, we're going to learn more about how the Sweeten brand was born.
But first, we head into the kitchen with a chef who has not only worked with the stars,
She's also worked to build fans and a social media following, one delicious dish at a time.
I worked in restaurants after culinary school, and kind of also being a part of the demographic that I'm trying to feed, it made it really easy to kind of connect that expertise with that natural audience that I just was a part of anyway. By giving people what they want to eat, it's just, it carries the enjoyable experience from the table to social media, back into your kitchen.
and joining us in studio right now is Ashton Keefeis.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here on InfluencerHER.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
No, it is. I already see it's going to be a good time as I look at the table here.
Exactly.
Yes.
And speaking of everything that's on the table, just to get us started, talk to me a little bit about how you turn food into your career.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I mean, I like to eat and drink, and it was very natural. I actually was a bartender and a waitress, and my mother was a caterer, and I decided to go to culinary school, and I kind of just went with it, and it was my true passion.
Awesome.
And even just going into the world of social media, putting some of your favorite dishes on social media, what are some things you like to go to and show off a lot?
Oh, I mean, I like food that people like to eat. So I'm a big Italian-American fan. I grew up in New Jersey. We ate a lot of pastas and pizzas. And so,
Jersey girls,
Jersey
right?
girls.
All three of us.
We know the pasta and pizzas.
I find that a pasta never fails to get likes.
Like this picture here, gorgeous.
Exactly, as does dessert in any form, always gets a lot of likes.
And speaking of social media, how did you build that brand online? I mean, obviously there's a lot of people who are cooking out there, but what kind of makes you stand out and resonate with your followers?
Well, I think it's a couple different things. I think it's my background as a stylist helps exponentially because obviously I'm making food look beautiful every day, either for myself or for clients.
Do you look to do healthier dishes? Do you look to just mix it up? Or you just want food that's simply just tasty?
You know, I kind of go back and forth. I like to think that I'm very European in my style of eating because I indulge in things like pasta and pizza and wine and cheese, but at the same time, you know, I find balance in eating healthier, and that is to me what really creates like a great, full, rich life of food, because you're not just, you know, eating salty, fatty, bad stuff for you, which you can do, but also you're balancing it, and that just makes you feel better.
I got a balance.
Yeah.
That's what we're all striving
Yeah.
for,
I mean,
whether
this
we
time of
achieve
year,
it or
there's
not.
no balance.
Oh, no, not at all.
No balance, but you know, everybody finds like little pockets and windows, and not to beat yourself up, and food's supposed to be enjoyed.
So when you're coming up with these dishes and they all just look delicious, I imagine they taste just as good too.
Yeah.
What is your process? What are you aiming to achieve when you come up with something new?
You know, inspiration strikes me everywhere. So sometimes it'll be other people's social media feeds that I'll be like, oh, I never thought that you could do that. And then sometimes it might be a wine that I'm tasting. It might be someplace that I travel. It might be a city. It might be a dish I have at a restaurant. A lot of times being in New York and, you know, Metro New York, you have so much access to great food. So you can go to a restaurant and I'll see something that nobody would make in a home kitchen because it's just a little too complicated. And then I try to make it more applicable, and then that's a lot of times how the inspiration, especially on my Instagram feed, kind of rolls to everybody.
And what makes you so different, which I love, because a lot of people cook on social media and show things, you went to culinary school. So
Yes.
you kind of know what people like, what will pair good nicely with things, especially on this table. Cannot wait.
Absolutely.
And when you get that feedback, what are you getting younger people, older people, kind of what is your audience on social media?
Well, I think a couple different things. I tend to get a lot of this, millennial might be an overused word because I think it's actually larger than that. I get a lot of like 22 first kitchens, just leaving college, and then I also have have like 40-year-old moms that are trying to get dinner on the table for 2 or 3 young kids. So I find that the span is pretty large.
I can imagine, because I'd probably be one of these people, coming to you and saying, how do I make this and make it look and taste as good as you did? What
That's the hard
advice?
part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like the Instagram versus reality, right?
What is the way you made that pasta look? I
do
feel like
you give
everything would be all over the place.
to those who are trying to make it look and taste as good as you do?
Absolutely. So I just recently published this quarterly publication called Convivial, and I show step by step. So, when you're sauteing the shallots, you see what that looks like. When you're adding the butter, you see what that looks like. When you're tossing the pasta, you see what that looks like. I think Instagram does a really good job, all social media does a really good job at showing you the end. But I think the process is just as important, and once you teach somebody that technique and that process, they need less, which is at the end of the day kind of a goal in a weird way, is that like if you can go and cook and learn something and then make it your own, I've done my job.
I love that. And I love that you're sharing all your tips right here.
Yes, that's important. And I just want to touch on the fact that you got to cook or work with some stars as well.
Yes.
I saw Kelly Clarkson.
Yes,
I did. Love her.
I did, me too. She is just as lovely and as friendly and bubbly and, as you would see her in TV and on stage.
So how did you get to that point, kind of cooking for the stars and working with them?
Oh my gosh. Well, I was very lucky to help open up a space in Manhattan called Haven's Kitchen, and we brought in a lot of celebrities because the space was naturally very beautiful and still is. And so I met a lot of like these celebrity clients through that space, and then a lot of it's word of mouth and just kind of moving and shaking and hustling.
Your food is good.
Celebrities are talking about you. That's a good thing, especially if they're sharing it.
3 simple tips on making your food taste and look good.
Well, okay, so that's 2 different things, taste and look good, but if I'm gonna combine them, the first one I would say is to eat seasonally. If you're eating seasonally, like there's nothing like a freshly sliced tomato with salt and olive oil, and that's not even a recipe, but it looks so good and it tastes so good because it's in season. So seasonality is really important. I always use white too. I find that plating things on white plates lets the food speak. So that's kind of my second tip. And then the third tip is something that you can't really teach. You just have to have patience with yourself. But if you take that extra moment to make things look pretty and you cut things with, care and just you mindfully cook and you mindfully eat, I find that your presentation not only looks better, but the people who are enjoying it too feel that.
I like that, cooking seasonally.
Yeah, and I mean, also taking the time to look up what's in season. Those are things that maybe are lost upon a novice like me. So taking that extra step will make a world of a difference, I imagine.
To be fresher, when something's in season.
Of course.
And as you heard Ashton say, one of her tips is to cook seasonally, so the colors speak for themselves.
And earlier this week, Ashton invited our cameras into her kitchen to show us how she prepares a dish that is perfect for the harvest season. Take a look.
Today for our appetizer, we are making pumpkin pecan baked brie. To make this, it's very, very simple. I've defrosted my puff pastry. I've got about a cup of pumpkin puree here, and then I'm gonna add about a cup of apricot jam. This is gonna be really sweet and delicious, and a cup of chopped pecans. And then I'm just gonna give this a mix. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up my puff pastry. And in the center of my puff pastry, I'm gonna put maybe about a half a cup of my apricot and pumpkin pecan mixture. And then I'm gonna take my wheel of brie, just put it right in the center, and slowly fold my puff pastry around my brie so it all meets at the seam. And then I kind of give it like a pinch so it doesn't come apart. And I slowly flip it over, nice carefully, just like that. And then to finish it, what I'm gonna do is I take whole pecans and just press them into the puff pastry just like this. And you're gonna bake this in a 425-degree oven for about 20 minutes. And you get this beautiful puff pastry. So it feels really fun and festive, but you can also do it on a weeknight if you have some friends over during the fall and you're entertaining. And this is a classic fall and winter entertaining dish.
All right, so Ashton, you were kind enough to bring your pumpkin baked brie here today, and we are so excited to try it.
It looks delicious.
Right?
We are so stoked for this.
And you made it look so easy to make.
Yes, it is easy to make.
Perfect to show up to a family or a friend's house with this, and immediately they're going to be impressed with your skills.
You're the party winner.
Exactly.
When it comes to the food.
Definitely.
So how long does this take? About
like 20 to 25 minutes. And I like to pop it in the oven right when you're like just about ready to get guests there, so that when it all your guests arrive, you're like pulling it out of the oven.
When everyone's walking in, they're probably getting a whiff of that,
Yes,
and they
exactly.
immediately
What is
know
Exactly.
there's going to be some good food here. Exactly.
Everyone loves cheese, so you
Everyone
can't
loves
lose.
cheese.
All right, Amanda, you want to try it out?
Time for us to taste
Okay,
test.
here we
I'm here
go.
for this.
So excited.
Okay.
Do I try it with the cracker?
You can do it with
You see how
cracker.
quickly
You
I'm
can
like-
do it with that.
I'll do it with
whatever,
cracker.
whatever you
I'm a
feel
mess,
like.
so I'll do it without the cracker. Delicious. I can imagine it when it's hot.
Yes, exactly. It'll be like super gooey, and
Is this one of your go-tos for like gatherings?
this is a great go-to for winter entertaining, for fall entertaining, anytime where it's nice to get inside and get cozy and pour a glass of wine, and it's
So
a great like seasonal appetizer right now.
We were talking a little bit about pairings earlier. So is there a particular wine that's best with brie and in this setting?
Of course. So I like to do any type of appetizer or cheese with a sparkling wine.
Okay.
We have Josh Seller's Prosecco. It actually just came out this season.
nice.
It's $14. It's really delicious and vibrant, and the bubbles cut through sometimes the fattiness of the cheese. So it kind of like makes you want to keep eating, keep drinking, which is exactly what you want when you
Yes.
have people over.
Ashton, thank you so much. And if you want more tips and recipes from Ashton, check her out on social media, and also don't forget to check out her book as well.
You can find her on Instagram. Her handle is @AshtonKeefe, and her website is www.ashtonkeefe.com. You can find her book there as well.
All right, so ahead, renovate fearlessly.
It is Sweeten's goal for customers. And coming up next, we are sitting down with company founder Jean Brownhill to find out how she works to make your home improvement dreams come true.
Sweeten is a platform that allows homeowners and small business owners to find vetted general contractors for their major renovations, and it's all for free. I love this idea of creating a space for everyone.
Well, what a great idea. Well, imagine having your next renovation go that smoothly, Amanda. You were just watching a promotional clip put together by the Sweeten team.
And the company promises that your next home makeover can be that stress-free.
You need it to be. And joining us on InfluencerHER today is the mastermind behind it all, Jean Brownhill. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We are so excited to have you. So just to get us started, talk to me a little bit about the idea behind Sweeten and how you put it into practice.
Yeah, so I'm trained as an architect. I worked as an architect for many years, and it wasn't until I started to do my own home renovation that I realized, oh my gosh, this is so hard, this is so stressful, it is so much money. And when I went to find a general contractor, I ended up hiring the wrong one. So I had been in the industry, I knew how to read floor plans and drawings, and even with all that training, I still hired the wrong general contractor. So it was just one of those moments where I thought, oh my goodness, there has to be a better way to do this. Like, how do regular people get access to high quality construction and design resources? And that's really the mission of Sweeten, is like, how do we help real people renovate their homes? So the name is Sweeten, like home sweet home. The idea is that we want to make it so that as many people as possible know that feeling of having a space in the world that is for them and really reflects them in the customization that they've made through their renovation.
And you're saving them money.
Yes.
Because someone like me, I wouldn't know the first place to go, so that's why we would come to you. So how does this process work for someone?
So you can come to us with just your inspiration image. So you've gone through all the sites, you've pinned a bunch of pictures, you have an idea of what you want it to look like. you can come to us and say, okay, this is what I want my bathroom to look like, but here's what it actually looks like right now. Help me to walk through the steps to set my scope. If for you, having a heated floor, you've always dreamed about it.
I would love that.
Yeah, who wouldn't, right?
I need something like that.
Then we will put a big asterisk next to that to make sure, okay, we know this is one of the must-haves of this renovation. We'll give you an idea of how much it'll cost, and then from there, you can tell us, now that you have like a realistic picture, like, okay, I had this vision, this is what it looks like in the reality of, as far as my scope, my timeline, my budget. Do I really want to move forward from this point? And if you say yes, then we can connect you with 3 general contractors that will come out to your home. They will actually, review your space. Sweeten has screened for the technical requirements, right? So we know that the only people that we're going to be connecting you with are licensed general contractors. So that's one check. Then you meet with them, you get an estimate, you know their price, but you also can pick like who you actually feel like you can work the best with. We need that project to go well because we have, staked our brand's reputation on that project going well. So we track the project all the way to completion. We make sure it goes well.
And you're the head of the company, so you want to make sure everything is excellent.
And you've seen the success stories already. We want to get to some of the photos of the before and afters for some of the projects.
We've done thousands of renovations at this point. We've got lots and lots of before and afters. They're mostly on our blog, but we definitely have some, I think.
Yeah, so this one is what you did for your client, Jessica.
Yes, this is Jessica and Jess. So this is the before picture that we're looking at, and there's the after.
Gorgeous.
So their priority was to bring the kitchen out into the living space and connect all of that area so that they really could entertain while they were cooking.
I mean, it looks like a completely different home,
It does.
to be honest, and for the better, for sure. I mean, gorgeous.
And the white makes it look much larger than the first picture.
Yeah, this is a great renovation.
So next we have is Nate. So what'd you do for Nate? Something a little different?
Yes, I think a lot of us have corners in our home that look like that.
Yes.
I don't even actually know what I would call this before. So they took what was kind of a completely underutilized space and made it the most high functioning space.
Oh my goodness.
By turning it into a bathroom. So
gorgeous.
So you see they have this beautiful rain shower now. That sloped ceiling that used to create this really untenable space where all that stuff was just collecting, now is actually usable storage.
And it's
Totally
almost just like
space.
probably beyond their imagination, because I wouldn't even know what to do with that nook if it were in my house.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome, making those dreams come true. We want to get to Bellamy as well. This was the before for Bellamy.
Yes, yes. We're looking at what was a bedroom, and you can see that there's some really pretty exposed brick.
Okay, love that.
I love an exposed brick.
Yeah.
Actually, I see you have it in your studio.
It's here. Big fans.
Yeah, and if you see in the after, so they actually transform the whole layout of the space by making this area of the home into their living space. So those are the same windows and the same exposed brick wall, but now transformed into their living room.
Jean, for those of us who want to embark on a renovation but don't ourselves even know where to begin, what are 3 quick tips that you would give to someone?
So number 1, I do think it's really important that you have a very clear understanding of what your project is. So you can come to Sweeten and set your smart scope, or you just yourself can say, okay, these are my must-haves, these are my things I would like, but they aren't required. The second tip is when you're interviewing professionals, please make sure that they are truly a licensed general contractor. Check the license number. Make sure you're working with a licensed professional. This is your home. It is the most expensive thing that you probably own, and you are going to be paying someone to take a hammer to it. You want to know that they at least have the professional accountability to get licensed in the jurisdiction that they're doing the work in. And then last, when you find a licensed general contractor, check references. Get the references of the last 3 projects that they've done, not the clients that they like the most or like them the most, the last 3 projects that they've done. That way you get a really good sense of who they are currently working with, the subs and the people that are on their team right now that will be working on your project.
Jean, thank you so much for joining us here today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Now, if you want more ideas from Jean and the Sweeten team, check her out on social media.
So here is her Instagram. It's at @Sweeten_home. Her Twitter handle as well, Sweeten_home, and her website, www.sweeten.com.
back to InfluencerHER. I hope you really enjoyed our episode today. We had two amazing women on, Ashton Keefeis and Jean Brownhill, talking about renovating your home and cooking some delicious food.
Yeah, awesome tips from both of those women. Let's talk about Jean first. I love that she self-admittedly says that, you know, she was an architect, and when she went to go renovate her own home, she didn't even know where to begin. So what did she do? Build an entire platform for everyone out there to get what they need to get their renovations done.
Exactly, all in one place. And what I love is she's saving people time, money, and a headache. She says you have to make sure you find a licensed contractor. That's important so you're not wasting your time and money.
And not only licensed, that you want to ask them what their last 3 renovations were, not just what references they want to provide, so that you can really do your research and check the resume on that one.
And you don't want to be duped. And also, she showed us some amazing transformations. Incredible work there. And also talking about Ashton, the brie was incredible.
Ooh. Baked pumpkin brie, no, pumpkin baked brie.
It's hard to say it, but it's good.
So enjoyable and easy to make, which is the best thing. So if we want to impress people, impress when we're hosting, it's an easy 20 to 25 minute recipe.
No, it's true.
To get done.
What's great about Ashton is she has a background in culinary arts. She went to school for this, so she knows what she's talking about. She has a whole book that we can use to make recipes for the entire family, friends, anything you want to do.
Sharing everything that she's learned with us so that we can make it taste and look as good as she does. So awesome advice from both of the women that we had here today. And if you have anything that you're interested in, we want you to influence us. You can follow us on social media, drop us a DM, and let us know what's influencing you so that we can have it right here on InfluencerHER.
All right, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.